May I ask about relationships? You don't expect anything and kind of always express or feel pure love. Is it possible in relationships? So, like, there is expectation. Like, it took me a long time to navigate this, because like, love can never be found in you have to be like this or you bring me my happiness. Like, love is always the big consciousness, like being connected, knowing who you are. Like, that is love. But then there is expectation. So if my partner was like really messy all the time, and never cooked and never did any housework or something, then it would fall on me. So there would be more for me to do in my life. And if I'm working full time and have a business and have kids or something, then that's a lot of extra stuff on me. So it's not like expectations like you have to do this in order to make me happy. But when you're in a relationship with someone, it is a partnership and you have to share work and responsibility. Like, you know, when I was in this process, I got conditioned so much, like, that you can't have any expectations, you know, from Roger's teaching and Ramesh teachings on people, that it actually was really bad then when I went into a relationship, because I was so passive when I went into relationships. I wasn't putting up enough boundaries with people. So it's like, if they were like really messy or really rude or doing all these things, I could just go to peace, to that bliss of what I am, and kind of ignore what they say or do. But these things are red flags in order for this body to move to somebody else. And if you're not having these, then you'll stay with somebody that's treating you really inappropriately. So it's not that you don't have expectation, it's a fine balance. It's that they can't make you happy. Your happiness is the consciousness of what you are, the oneness, the not two-ness, that which is experiencing. It's always the vertical line, like, this moment is free, who you are is free, this is free. I don't know how to say it, it all sounds so dualistic, but this oneness, like beyond mind, beyond thought, beyond ideas, beyond you and me. And this is love. But in relationships, there needs to be expectations to an extent. Not expectations, it will make me happy or that will give me freedom, but expectations as in, it's appropriate for the other person to speak to you kindly. It's appropriate for the other person to not hit you. It's appropriate for the other one to do their fair share of jobs. There's sometimes times where one person has to do more than the other because the other one's sick. But it's, you know, this is like wisdom. This is like trying to balance it and live together. When I first woke up, I was way too passive and it caused me problems in my life. And yeah, and there was taking advantage of. But ultimately, no one can take advantage of me, and no one did, and there's no one to blame. But there was, if we look at it in the story, taking advantage of, because it's like that famous quote, if you're like super, be careful, if you're super open-minded, other people will come along and try and fill it up. And it's also, if you're like too totally free, people will come along and try to own and claim you because they want that. And yeah, I'm sure that happened to Ramana to an extent. So it's this like gentle balance. But first of all, you have to like look at, you know, what is it that's bugging you about your partner or something? And look at it like, what is coming from seeking? What is coming from this dynamic of, you will give me freedom or you're taking away my freedom, because that is not true. And then what is it like? Then there's the next level. So when you've dealt with that, like the seeking element, so how is it that I'm communicating the wants and needs of this body in a fair and kind and peaceful way? And then am I able to do that? And can I recondition myself to do it in a more appropriate way? So it's like, if you feel sad or if you feel like you're doing too much cleaning, being able to express that without creating World War III. And there are ways to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I'm sure a lot of what I say doesn't make sense. But to truly love your partner can only be from the absolute. Everything else is about preference and pleasure and pain. To really see them as not a thing. This is absolute love.